Jingle bells, jingle bells, the jingle bells. That's the song that's playing right now that you're listening to. Hey, welcome to episode 5 of Lisa and Kaitlin's Holiday Movie Club. We are so excited to be doing this limited run podcast for you guys who share our love of good, bad holiday movies. This is an 8-episode podcast. We are on episode 5, so we're more than halfway. It's almost over. I'm so sad that it's almost over because we're having so much fun. But let's not focus on the end. Let's focus on the now. Kaitlin and I this week are going to be talking about A Very Country Christmas on Netflix, Happiest Season on Hulu, Jingle Jangle on Netflix, and Dash and Lily on Netflix, episodes 4 and 5. We've been kind of working through that series, and we're going to talk about episodes 4 and 5. As always, my beautiful, smart, wonderful, pleasant, charming co-host is here with me. Kaitlin, say hello.
Hello, everyone. I do that intro every time. Can you just list off more great qualities about me? What a great boost.
You've got great hair, and you smell good. Just overall, you have a great smile. You light up every room you're in, and you just kind of just beam. You're just beaming, like beaming joy.
Thank you.
Not like in a Star Trek way, like
joy.
you're beaming yeah, like you're beaming places, but like you radiate. You radiate. No, you're radiant. You're like a radiator.
The power of teleportation would be very nice, but yes, I bring Christmas joy with me, and the easiest way to spread Christmas joy is sing it loud for all to hear.
Yes, and wait, isn't it Christmas cheer?
Yeah, I think so, but I tried. I put my own twist on it.
That's right, because Kaitlin lives every day of her life like it's Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should see her house. It's full of lights and trees all year. She never takes them down. She has HOA fees just out
through the roof,
the bum, because she just has inflatables all over her yard, and everyone, her neighbors hate her because she just has like live reindeer just roaming around her yard at all times. And her husband constantly wears a Santa suit, and she dresses up like Mrs. Claus just year round. So,
oh yeah,
I'm sorry to reveal your private life like this, but I mean, the people need to know why you're so qualified for this holiday podcast.
I know. Christmas Cheer Confidential with Lisa Foyles.
Yeah, also none of that is true. Kaitlin is very normal and very pleasant and just not a freak is what I'm trying to say.
Thank you. Thank you. I put up my Christmas decorations at a normal time like everyone else. I think everyone did it a little bit earlier this year because I think we all needed a little extra love. But I tend to wait to at least like December 1. That's also the time where I start playing Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You.
I don't want her like my Christmas. I feel like as soon as you hear that song, you're like, oh, it started.
It's time.
It has begun.
It is Christmas time.
Yeah, she is the bringer of Christmas. She starts it, and then Michael Bublé finishes it. That's his role in life now. He is a Christmas artist.
Just like Dolly Parton. Praise her.
Dude, Dolly Parton is saving the world.
So she not only helped fund a COVID vaccine, which is looking very promising, she dropped a Christmas movie and a Christmas album, and I think she has a book out too. Like, this woman is great.
We do not deserve her.
She's
not. Fabulous and brilliant.
And
beautiful.
Lisa, who we also don't deserve? Friend of the podcast and friend in IRL, Save Point Stew, for confirming the thing last episode and confirming Christmas miracles. The Netflix holiday universe does exist, and Netflix has confirmed it.
That's right. Kaitlin and I had our speculations for the last several years, but we don't follow any of, Netflix or anything like on any of the social medias, or at least I don't. And thankfully, Stuart, our longtime friend, longtime listener of our last 4 episodes, tweeted at us and confirmed that Netflix has posted a picture of both the Princess Switched world and the, what's it called? The Christmas Prince world. Is that what it is? Christmas, coming together, confirming that they have created a cinematic universe. And we're pretty stoked about it.
We're just waiting for that trailer to drop, or that confirmation of, guess what they're shooting? The, Princess switched again with a Christmas
Switcheroo.
Prince.
Yep, the switcheroo.
Switcheroo.
There's gonna be another prince. There's gonna be 4 Vanessa Hudgens' is, and then there's gonna be like 2 of the princes from Aldovia, and it's just gonna be an absolute chaotic Benny Hill mess, and I cannot wait.
I hope so. I really hope they do more of that. Have more fun.
Yeah, they will.
Let's have more fun. That was our critique of Princess switched again.
Switcheroo switched again. Kaitlin, are you drinking anything tonight?
I am. I have a beer. So I have gluten-free, not by choice, and I have a beer it's a stout. It's a coffee stout, and it's called from Sufferfest Beer Company.
Dude, those like coffee stouts are like a meal in a can.
Oh yes, I'm very excited.
Like that's a whole second dinner for you, I'm sure.
Because the hardest part about finding out that I had celiac disease and I had to go to a gluten-free diet is not being able to have stouts. Like, gluten-free stouts are usually not very good. The best you can find are like IPAs or pale ales. So being able to get a decent stout. I want to say snout, but that's not right. Stout.
Folks, she's so drunk she can't even pronounce. No, she's not.
I'm not a professional like you, Lisa, or a professional bartender with this reindeer mug.
It's funny that you say that.
Glass.
Oh, I have a reindeer glass. Let me hold up to the camera.
Yes, that's amazing. Here, look at Sufferfest.
So, where I'm at is, remember episode 2 or I don't know, whatever. I talked about my caramel vodka plus apple juice martini, my caramel appletini. Mm-hmm. Well, I've upped the game.
Ooh, all right.
And I've used apple cider instead of apple juice, and it is significantly better. And also, I was in that predicament where I was just at the end of the vodka bottle, but the type of vodka it has like a sticker around the outside, so I couldn't tell exactly how much was left. So I'm like, hey, Sean, should I just like finish off this bottle? And he's like, yeah, it would be irresponsible not to. So I just like glug, glug, glug. Okay, I don't know how much this is, and this is. And I just put it in the glass, topped it off with apple cider. And look, I'm feeling good. Everything's holly jolly right now for me.
That's great. It's holly jolly, and we're talking about our favorite thing, holiday movies.
Holiday movies. Once again, I'll just cover the backstory. Kaitlin and I have been friends for a million years, and every year we watch these good, bad Christmas movies on Netflix and Hulu and Hallmark and Lifetime, and we text back and forth ferociously. Like we're sending large paragraphs to each other about our feelings about these movies, and it's just like a fun thing we do every year. So this year we decided to do a podcast. So if there's anybody out there who does the same thing, they can kind of,
join in
part
the
of our
fun.
Holiday club.
Yeah.
Yes, the jackets and bracelets are on back order, but you guys just keep checking your mailbox. They'll be there any day. But let's jump into our first movie. This week is interesting, Kaitlin, because I have to say that I feel like I thoroughly enjoyed every movie that we're going to talk about. I really did. I don't feel like I had to suffer through any of these like we have in past episodes.
Yes. I was trying to think.
I gotta say, yeah.
I think the hardest one was probably A Country Christmas, but also that movie is so short. It's like a smooth, 84 minutes?
You know what? I really enjoyed it. I gotta say, I enjoyed it.
They did a good job with pacing. It dips a little bit. Are we going to start with A Country Christmas?
Yes, so we're going to start with A Very Country Christmas, which is on Netflix. I think it's a couple years old, and Kaitlin is going to delight us with a quick sum up of the movie. Kaitlin, go ahead right now. Spotlight's on you. Go.
Sure. A country music star flees to a small town that hosted the music camp of his youth to hide out during the holiday season. He didn't expect to find love while trying to maintain a low profile.
That's wonderful.
Thank you.
And I gotta say, here's why I really enjoyed this movie. It pretty much hit on all of our tropes. There was a small town busybody who, we'll just say it was like the cop chick, maybe. Was she kind of a busybody?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I would say so. She's the most.
Yeah, I thought she was really entertaining. I thought she was really funny.
Officer Patty.
Yes, okay, Officer Patty. Rude but handsome stranger who will soon fall in love with you. Remember, she thought he was kind of rude at the beginning.
Yep.
Work obsessed, tragically single. very tragically, you know, because her husband passed away, and she was like, I just don't have time to date right now. I think was there a gazebo? I feel like there was a gazebo, maybe.
I don't know if there was a gazebo. There was at least very nice stage shots.
Yes, some good stage shots. So here's why I enjoyed it. It hit on so many of our holiday movie tropes, but it wasn't cringy. So I mean, maybe a couple moments were cringy, but overall, I thought both of the lead characters were sweet and likable. Whereas so many of the other movies we've watched, I just didn't like the main dude really at all. And sometimes the girl. I'm just like, I don't like these people, so I don't support them, and I don't care if they win in the end. I really wanted these two to win in the end.
I think so.
Okay, give me your thoughts.
I thought, so the main character, our country music star, is named Zayn, the musician.
Zayn.
And I did enjoy Zayn. I felt like Zayn had dimensions, which is nice, because sometimes I think, especially when we go in with our leading males, they tend to be very one-dimensional, and we get backstory about him and how he's struggling with fandom and stardom, and what is that like for him, and him going back to a place that meant a lot for him, and really relating to Jeanette, who is our female protagonist, and her daughter. I thought was really sweet. I think almost Jeanette was almost like a little bit more one-dimensional, our main protagonist, which was kind of a nice flip to see that on the genders. I really did enjoy his brother Billy, who's his agent, trying to find him, who had like no idea where to find him, and his conversation with Mary, who was the other agent, who was basically just like typical Hollywood stereotype of an agent. And my favorite moment was, though, at the end, where she just, things don't go her way, so she just chugs her glass of wine, and I was like, this is great. This is great. How do you not like this woman? So I think the thing I really enjoyed about him was, like I was saying, the dimensions. I think Jeanette almost, like, I was like, do you really like him? Does he really meet your needs? Because it seemed like he bonded really well with Jeanette's daughter Quinn. He got her a video game system. He was like really wanted to bond with her, and it felt like it was important to have that relationship. And I almost felt like I wanted to see more between Zayn and Jeanette, and like have that one-on-one time, and that chemistry in those moments. We got glimpses, but I would have liked a little bit more. It seemed like it focused a lot on Quinn, and I just wanted to see more of like those two clicking versus, while the daughter's important, I don't want it to be the sole time that we see like them clicking, you know?
Right. I did appreciate that she, and I actually mean this in the nicest way possible, I appreciate that she wasn't like a Victoria's Secret model.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
Because in so many of these Christmas movies, you just get these unbelievably hot people who are like, oh my God, we're single and nothing's going right in our life. And I'm like, BS. But I feel like she was super relatable, and like she looked like me, like she looked like us, like a normal girl. And I did feel like every character was a little heavy on the eye makeup. I don't know if you felt that way.
Agreed.
I feel like they all had like way too much eyeliner.
Yeah.
But you know what? I don't know. I kind of wear too much eyeliner, so maybe that's more realistic.
I mean, at one point, Zayn wears a leather cuff, and I know you appreciate a good leather cuff.
Love it. Yes, absolutely. I thought he was super likable, honestly. I thought so far he's been... I mean, I like the guy from Holiday, but he had his like D-bag moments.
Yes, yes. This guy was definitely a genuinely nice guy. Besides running out on a music-filled stadium, I thought that was a little bit of a not cool move, but...
Oh, whatever. They all got refunds. It's fine. He needed to get away from the fame, you know? I really liked him from beginning to end. I really liked the super country, like... round yon virgin mother and child, like right at the beginning of the movie. I really enjoyed that. I'm like, you were just setting the tone. Plus, I don't know if you follow country music, but I used to be a huge country music fan. I'm not as much anymore. I really like kind of 90s country. That's like the sweet spot for me. And before that, like Johnny Cash and stuff. Modern country music is kind of just basically pop music with like a little twang. It's like the exact same thing as pop music. But Deanna Carter was the girl that sang at the end. The like, you know, the one who was running the Christmas show.
I figured she was a country singer.
Yeah, she's a country music celebrity named Deanna Carter. Yes, yeah. She sings one of my favorite country songs of all time, which is called We Danced Anyway. And I think she also did Strawberry Wine. Anyway, she's like a huge country music star, and it was really cool to see her in that movie doing your typical like musical artist attempts to act in a movie, but she did a great job. Like it's as good as it needed to be.
I thought she was pretty solid as like a mentor. You believe that she cared about everybody in the small town, so I thought that was really, really well done. Though the two criticisms I have would be about the plot where they get caught, because it really didn't make sense to me that the friend of Tom, so Tom has a crush on Jeanette, the friend of Tom is just, like, cruising by the house for no reason, and it's, like, immediately like, oh, it's the country music star, let me take photos, and I'm gonna make a bunch of money and sell them. Like, it just seemed weird, like, why is this guy around? There was no hint to it, there was... What did it matter? And then the other thing that I would also say, the other criticism is that it during the Christmas concert, where Jeanette and her daughter get on stage with Zayn, and they stand in the middle, they clearly call out at the start that the daughter Quinn has music talent. Why is she not on a mic? Why is she not singing?
Right, yeah. And I also didn't like that they had, and I don't know if she was a country music star too, but the other blonde chick that was singing like all the Christmas songs, she looked so much like the main protagonist that I kept thinking it was her, and then I was confused when it wasn't. By the way, I watched this on my phone, so my screen was a lot smaller, so I would look at my screen and be like, is she now singing on stage? Oh wait, no, that's not her. But honestly, I would say out of like all the mediocre movies we talked about, I thought this one was really cute, and I think that most people would enjoy it, and it's like a family movie. There was one moment that honestly made me laugh out loud, and I wish I wrote it down because I don't remember now, but I thought it had a couple really good moments. So
yeah, I think there was a lot of good moments.
We give it a thumbs up.
It was fun. It also ended a little abruptly, like they kissed on stage and then that was it. It was just like, we're done.
I don't think it needed to cover anything else. You know what I mean?
I mean,
I think it gave us like the rom-com big ending, and then it's like the only thing left they could have done was like 1 year later, and then like them getting married or something like that.
I know you or end credit photo scenes. I know you love those.
End credit photo scenes. I love it.
Let's get some end credit photos. I think the other thing I think it could have got lost with was like those minor characters. Like they introduced us to the barista friend, the guy who has a crush on Jeanette, the girl friend of the guy who has a crush on Jeanette, and then she ends up with Tom, and then the friend who sees them. Like, it's just too many side characters. I would have liked them to solidify it down because they really didn't do much to the plot, and we didn't need them. Or like let Jolene, or who was the mentor, or somebody else lead a little bit more, or let Billy find them and Billy leaks it accidentally or something.
Yeah, you know, we might answer some of these questions in A Very Country Christmas 2 when his brother starts a new record label.
Oh, yes.
Which apparently is just an easy thing to do. But no, I mean, I don't know if they're going to do a sequel, but it ended with like, I'm going to go start my own record label, and then him looking at his brother and, you know, cha-ching, like dollar signs in his eyes.
I also did
that's how I imagined it going down.
Zayn was not bad looking. I thought Billy was way more attractive, though.
Yeah, but Zayn had that, like, good old country boy look.
Oh, totally. Totally.
You could look at him and be like, you're a country star for sure.
And if you had any doubt, look at his Longhorn bolo tie.
Dude, the bolo tie! The bolo tie was so good.
Yeah.
Love the bolo tie. But yeah, I don't really have any more comments. I think it's a good one to check out. Do you have any more comments? Okay, let's move on.
The only thing I note is I stopped it halfway through to sing All I Want for Christmas Is You to my dog.
Well, of course. You should be singing to your dog at all moments.
I should have busted out Dolly Parton's Christmas album to be in the theme, but that's all right.
Yeah, because Dolly Parton's like the new idol of Christmas. We just need to... She's the new queen of Christmas. Like, sorry, Mariah Carey. Like, Dolly Parton's actually saving the world, so she's really saving Christmas. Hopefully.
We really got to watch a Christmas movie. Okay, what's next on the docket, Lisa?
Okay, we're just going to briefly talk about this movie because... I mean, everyone's mentioned how thoroughly enjoyable and magical and whimsical it is. Jingle Jangle. Yep. So straight up, I just have to warn everybody out there that this is a very long movie.
Yes.
I believe it's 2 hours and change, maybe?
Yes, I think so.
And my kids would not sit through it with me. They did enjoy the beginning with me, but it was just like, it was a little too complicated for them. So if you have really small children, I don't know if this is like the movie to watch, but I will say this movie is wonderful and beautiful, and there's so much talent in this film. Like, I'm going to call it a film. I think this one deserves to be called a film.
Yeah, it has the budget of a film. You can tell. Like,
yes.
Between the sets, the hair, the makeup, the costumes, they did such a good way of making the world immersive. Like, you forget that it's a movie and you feel like part of this magical world, which I think was really well done. On top of the casting, like, the actors in this movie can actually act.
For sure. I mean, I honestly went into it not knowing it was a musical. I just thought it was just going to be kind of like the Nutcracker one. What's it? Was it just called? It wasn't called the Nutcracker. The one with
the one that
like
came
Keira Knightley.
Oh, it's like the Nutcracker and the Four Realms or something like that.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. So I thought it was going to be like that one, which that movie was like, it was good, it was beautiful, but like, I don't know. So I thought it was going to be a lot like that.
Musical film is hard to do.
It's very hard to do. But they were like in this beautiful toy shop, and then they started singing, and I'm like, oh, this is awesome. And the dancing was amazing. The costumes are incredible. The set design is beautiful. The writing, everything about this movie is so magical. So this gets like higher marks than any other movie we've talked about because it's really like a genuinely good movie. We don't really talk about good movies. We are more on like talking about the rom-com. So it's kind of
more into the cheesy holiday, so bad it's good movies. I do think it was really well done. I think it's a good movie for, like you were saying, slightly older kids. There's not too many scary moments or anything else, or if your kids really like musicals, but it is really long. That's the only like downfall of it, especially with small kids, as you had mentioned. It is really long. I do think it was really fun. I think a lot of people will enjoy it. And yeah, it was just fun.
Yeah, it was great. We don't really have much more to say about it because it's great. You should watch it.
It's got a good message about believing in magic, believing in yourself, and let's also, hit on representation's important. So I think it is awesome that we do have a movie with featuring so many prominent Black actors and upcoming Black actors, which is fantastic.
It made me think of the Brandy Cinderella movie.
Oh, yeah,
remember way back with Whitney Houston?
Yes.
That was one of my favorite
classic,
shows of all time. God, I watched that so many times as a kid. And it was you're completely right. It was great to see that representation in such an awesome film. So everyone should watch it. But we're going to move on to a brand new Hulu movie called Happiest Season. Is it The Happiest Season or Happiest Season?
I think it's Happiest Season.
Okay, Happiest Season. And Kaitlin is so I'm up in the lights right now. Like, I just climbed up to the lights, and I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna take the spotlight and shine it on Kaitlin.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
She's all by herself on stage. Yeah, she's all by herself on stage. Like, she's like Linus in Charlie Brown Christmas, and she's about to tell us all about this movie. Lights, please, and go.
A woman brings home her girlfriend home for the holidays, but she's afraid to tell her family that they're together and jeopardize her father's political ambitions.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Yes.
And the stars are Kristen Stewart.
Yes,
is
who
our
plays
main
Abby.
chick.
Yeah.
Yes. Mackenzie something from Canada who plays the other one.
Harper. And then
she has a last name, and she's a fabulous actress, and I can't remember her last name, and I'm so sorry.
We also have Allison Brie from Community, who plays
plays the older
Harper's
sister.
sister Sloane. We also have Aubrey Plaza, who plays Riley.
Yes, who will just forever be April to all of us. Like, I love her, and I'm so sorry that she will always be April, but she is always anything I've ever seen her in. I'm like, oh, that's April, just kind of acting a little bit differently. That's the problem when you're so good at one character. Yes.
Who else do you want to highlight, Lisa?
I don't know.
I've seen the mom and the dad and things, but I don't know the names off the top of my head.
Mary Steenburgen is the mom, and Victor Garber is the dad, who we've seen them in a bazillion films, and they're fabulous actors. So yeah, I mean, everybody's acting was really great. Again, this is a good movie. This
Agreed.
isn't like your typical low budget, filmed in Canada over 3 weeks, rushed out, by December 1st on a streaming service so that everybody can see it. Like it's actually a really well done screenplay. And I think one of the first holiday movie releases that has a homosexual theme. I know that was like am I right, Kaitlin? Maybe
so
I know that was like a big thing this
Hallmark
year.
did one as well,
Hallmark,
which I think is called like Holiday Home. We talked about, or Christmas Home. But
okay,
I do think it is awesome going back to like representation. I think it's awesome that we're seeing more stories about with different characters, and that we are seeing like more like homosexual stories, which I think is great.
Totally, and I think this one was really well done.
100%.
And I think the story is completely believable because I can see this happening, all over the world. It's like I don't personally have experience in this, but I can totally see the predicament that they found themselves in, where one was fully out, the other one wasn't, to her family, and her family is very high up politically and has very conservative views, and she wants to respect that because that's how she was raised, and it's her mom and dad. She wants to respect their views, but yet she has kind of her true self, and she's loves Kristen Stewart's character. So she's Harper's kind of caught in the middle of like, do I make my family think I'm this perfect daughter, or do I be true to who I am?
Yeah.
So I think it's a completely believable story, and I think they accomplished it with a perfect amount of finesse, where it wasn't cheesy, but it was funny, that we could all laugh about it. You know what I mean? We were laughing with them and not at them, at these ridiculous,
situations they got themselves
that they found themselves in. Yeah.
But you also
you felt that way.
You could also understand why Harper felt so conflicted. Like, I think they did.
Absolutely.
The actress that played Harper did an excellent job. I think Kristen Stewart also did an excellent job as the girlfriend, of feeling like, well, I want you to stand up for me and say who you are, but you're not, and kind of feeling a little bit like stuck in the middle. I also think they did a good job of bouncing Dan Levy as the role of John, as like more of the comic relief and the person outside who understood.
So good. Yeah, he was so good.
I loved when he showed up to the house and meets the mom and just goes and pretends to be straight and goes, I nailed that, and she's fabulous. I was like, yes, Dan Levy, yes.
Or when she's talking to Connor, wait, who's the guy, the boyfriend, the ex-boyfriend?
Oh, Connor.
And he's just like, oh yeah, like I'm, I bench press. Like, what do you, I lift weights or whatever. And he's like, oh, how much you bench press? Like 1,000.
Missed opportunity. We should have had Sean fact check that for us.
Yes, I know. I totally butchered the joke, but like it's so good.
I also appreciated the honesty and rawness. Like, you could believe why Riley, Aubrey Plaza's character, who was friends with Harper growing up in their first relationship and being 14, and that like that one of their friends found one of their love notes, and then Harper threw Riley under the bus and said like, no, I'm not gay, she has a crush on me, she won't leave me alone, blah blah blah, and try to hide away from it. Like, you could actually see that happening to high schoolers. Like, you could actually see why that would affect you as a person, and how Harper feels guilty about it down the line. So I also really enjoyed, like, I thought Riley was an incredible character this whole movie, and Aubrey Plaza did an amazing job. Like, I was almost kind of sad that Aubrey Plaza and K-Stu didn't end up together.
It's almost like, I think that's the point of the movie, though, is yes. I think that they were trying to make the audience believe that those two were going to end up together, and then Harper was going to end up with her ex-boyfriend, and then that's just like the way it went. But then, they threw us the lovely curveball at the end and kind of gave us the happy ending. But I gotta say, I was really nervous at the beginning of this movie because I knew that it was going to be not a touchy subject, but you know what I mean, just kind of an interesting story to unfold in a family-friendly way for a holiday movie.
Yeah.
And I was excited about that, but I got a little nervous at the beginning because it was not funny at the beginning. And I'm like, no. Oh God, like this
was very serious.
I really hope this is funny because it's kind of starting out as a drama. And like, God help me, I think Kristen Stewart is a great actress, but she is not funny. Like, I do not think she has the capability of being a comedic actress. So I was a little nervous because I'm like, oh God, like she's carrying this whole movie. We need it to be funny, and she's not funny. She's a brilliant actress, but she's not funny. So thank God we got Jane, because she was the best character, aside from
I forgot about Jane on the comic relief. Besides,
yes.
John.
Yes, besides John's
character.
Jane was so good. Jane was so good. She was, oh my God. Like, every time she was on screen, I was like, please just let her talk. Like, give her more life.
Yeah. I also
was
kind of sad because we know Alison Brie can be a comedic actress. And I felt like I was kind of sad because she was much more of a serious character, that we didn't get more comedy from her.
Yeah, at the end we got more, like with the fight and everything. Yeah. But, you know, I'm really pleased with how they did this movie because, you know, I do not have experience in this realm. So I'm kind of getting a peek into other people's lives and what they have to deal with and their struggles. And I think they just really did it in this beautiful, wonderful way that was really enjoyable. There's another movie I watched recently that came out of Ireland called Dating Amber, and it's very similar in the sense that it's like two characters who are gay and they want to be true to themselves, but they have these families. And that was another like really, really well done film. And I encourage anybody to look into it. I believe it was directed by David Frayne, I believe. And it's just very well done. So yeah, I was like super pleased with how they did this movie. I was very pleasantly surprised. I didn't really know much about it going in, but I think it's worth a watch, y'all.
Oh, agreed. It's definitely worth a watch. I definitely enjoyed the bar they were at before K-Stu goes to Fratties. Also, the name of the sports bar being called Fratties was amazing. The bar that she and Riley were at before they go, and it's like they have the drag queens singing Christmas carols, and they're just chilling, drinking beers in a booth. I was like, Lisa and I would totally be at this bar, and they come up with like the mic, and you'd be like, no, and then you grab it and nail it because you're musically and vocally trained.
It was a great diffusing moment.
Yes,
that was what Aubrey Plaza's. Aubrey Plaza's character did that perfectly. Yeah. There was so many times where like it was almost getting too serious, and then Aubrey would be there, and she would just be like, she would bring it back down to earth and like more comedic in a more comedic way, and her character was great. Yeah,
I also really liked the at the end when they're like confessing their secrets, and Jane goes, "I don't have any secrets, but I'm an ally," and I'm like, "You go, Jane."
Dude, Jade was so good. The moment in the wine store where she like picks up the box
my worst
and it
nightmare.
All crashes, I laughed out loud so loud. Oh my God, Kaitlin. Like, that was the best moment of the whole film. Just the way it was played out. It was so good.
That's literally my worst nightmare. You laughed and I went, oh, no, that would totally happen to me in the wine store, and I would owe like hundreds of dollars of wine that I couldn't even drink.
Dude, can I tell you a great story? This is somewhat related. So, one of my best friends ever, Cheryl, had come up to visit me in Oregon one time. And we were finally old enough to drink. And so we went a little crazy. And we went to the store and we bought like all this beer. And we put all the empty beer bottles in a bunch of paper bags, as you do when you're 21 and you're stupid. So we had 2 giant paper bags full of beer bottles. We were in it was my condo. It was my old condo in Portland. So like you had to carry the trash down to the dumpster when you wanted to throw it away. So the next morning we wake up and we're all groggy and we go and we pick up these paper bags full of beer bottles. And what do you think happens? The liquid had dripped out of all of the bottles overnight, making the bottom of the bag moist. And it broke, and all of the bottles spilled out of both of our bags and just shattered all over the floor. So for the next, 2 hours, we had to clean up all of the broken glass, and it was frustrating, but also, we were so tired and hungover that it was just kind of funny. But that's kind of what it reminded me of.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. The other thing I wanted to highlight is, before we wrap it up and go to the next thing, is Aubrey Plaza did do an interview with Dan Levy, and she said, "I hope people walk away from the movie and they're disappointed that Kristen Stewart didn't end up with my character, and they riot in the streets about it. For me, it's a competition. Acting is a competition, and I just want to win." So I loved it. I was kind of sad K-Stu and Aubrey Plaza didn't end up together, and then I wish like they would have done with the end credit scenes with the photos that it would have been like them two together, and then Harper's not with Connor, but she finally has come out and she's comfortable and she found her own partner or something. That would have just been nice. But I also get like I also get the premise of this movie. You're right, though. You know, like,
so if they would have had time, which I don't think they did, because I think it was like a solid hour and a half, hour and 40 or something like that.
I think so.
So I think doing this would have made the movie too long, but for the story, I think you're right. I think they could have gone with those respective partners. You know, Kristen Stewart did her, like, it's too late, like, dramatic line of the movie, where she's like, I'm sorry, it's too late. Like, you just came out in front of your family and tried to, you know, confess your undying love for me, but, like, I'm out already. I'm out of the relationship already because, like, you didn't do it sooner and you lost me. And I thought that was really dramatic. So I think you're right. I think it would have been cool if she would have gone off with Aubrey's character, and then Mackenzie/Harper would have gone off with the Connor character, and then, like, fast forward a couple months or so, or like to New Year's, you know, because, like, as holiday movies can cover both Christmas and New Year's, and, like, they're both still thinking of the other person, and then maybe they run into each other at a New Year's party or something, and then they realize that they made a mistake and they needed to be together all along. Maybe that's an alternative ending that could have happened, because I agree. I think Kristen and Aubrey had a lot of
chemistry. I thought they were a good pairing. I thought they did really good jobs. I also appreciated that Dan Levy's character, John, was a ride or die. Like, he was constantly there for Kristen Stewart's character. He was talking to her on the phone. He drove all the way to go get her and get her out of a bad situation when she was upset. He walked around the house, and it's like, we all need a friend like that. Like, that's true friendship.
Also, I feel like it hit a little too close to home when Harper was making fun of Jane for telling them about her fantasy novel. And she was like, haven't you been working on that novel for like 10 years? And I was like, hey, it takes a long time to write a fantasy novel.
Hey,
like, I worked on mine for 2 years, and then it took me like 4 more years to publish it.
Jane got it published, and people were coming and signing it. Exactly. So, mad respect.
So there you go. Yeah, this is where I plug my own fantasy novel, Ash Ridley and the Phoenix, which you can go on Amazon and Barnes & Noble and pick up for a young reader in your life. Yay!
Yeah, or you can also go to
plug it at the end, because I'm going to do it now.
Independent bookstore.
Or if it's at, you can check your local bookstores, obviously, first, if you're allowed to leave your house, which in Vegas we're not really allowed to do right now. Yeah. But you can check other websites. I know it's available, like, all over the internet. I'm just not sure where.
Your publisher has made sure it's almost everywhere. Including LakeForestBookstore.com, my friends' mom's independent bookstore. I think it's also on Pals. We'll have to double check that. Let's fact check that.
I haven't checked, but yeah, obviously check there first. What was it? Plug it again. The one you said?
LakeForestBookstore.com.
Yes, go there first, and that is where I would like you to purchase it if you can. But anyway,
also, before we go into the next thing, the movie does end with Lisa's absolute favorite thing, which is a photo montage at the end credits.
Love the photo montage.
I love the progression that we got in the photo montage after. Like, we got the 1 year forward and the photo montage.
I know, we got both. It's almost like they know what a holiday movie audience wants.
Yes, because they talk so much about the mom's Instagram, so I thought that was very cute. It's the mom's Instagram updating.
Yes, I liked that. You know what, Kaitlin?
Yes.
I'm just so excited that all of these companies are going to, hear this podcast and from now on call us before they greenlight their holiday movies, because we obviously know everything that
I hope so.
Should be in a holiday movie.
I will gladly be a holiday movie consultant.
We're like the Council of Elrond for holiday movies. You need to present it to us, and then we will tell you who is going to Mordor.
Yes. And the answer is always Lisa, because she wants to act in it.
Yeah, the only way this movie will be successful is if you cast me in the lead role. But the lead character is
it's a musical,
is a
not
45-year-old man. I
Lisa
don't care.
Is a
it must be me.
You need a short 1-sentence description of this movie to sell it to viewers? I got you.
Yep. You must hire Kaitlin to just tell everyone about the movie at all times, because she's so good at it.
Oh, thanks, Lisa.
So, are you ready to move on?
To Dash and Lily?
Yes.
Woo!
This has been, so Dash and Lily on Netflix has been, for me, the biggest pleasant surprise of the entire holiday season. I was not expecting it. I didn't know what it was. And it's a Christmas series. I believe it's 8 episodes, just like our podcast.
Yay!
And I didn't watch the trailer. I didn't watch anything about it. I just hit play.
Same.
And I couldn't believe how enchanting it was and how just unique. I really never seen a story like this. And I guess the fact that it takes place during the holidays is kind of what helps it be so magical. But yeah, we're kind of covering it sort of episode by episode as our podcast goes on. We've done episodes 1, 2, and 3. Today we're going to combine 2. We're going to talk about episodes 4 and 5 of this wonderful show that I encourage all of you to watch, even though I haven't even finished the series. Kaitlin has, because she couldn't wait for me because she's gonna binge it. I'm Kaitlin. I'm just gonna watch it. I'm gonna go to Big Bear and like have fun in the snow with puns and just totally ignore my bestest podcast friend Lisa.
It was a magical time.
All right, hit us with the
time where we literally watched this all in one session. Like, we did not stop.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna put down my drink. And I'm going to crawl into the rafters. That's me crawling up the ladder. I'm going to get up there and I'm going to hold the light and I'm going to swivel it towards you on the stage. Okay, ready for your spotlight?
Oh my gosh, okay. I'm doing the description?
Yes, okay. Description. Okay, oh, hold on. You weren't ready for the spotlight. Let me do it one more time. Okay.
Okay, right.
Okay, there.
Let me tell you what Christmas is all about.
No, not Christmas. Dash and Lily.
Okay, so in episode 4... Lily.
No. Cut. Now I'm Charlie Brown in the back of the theater with the giant cone over my mouth saying, cut.
I mean, every actor does want to be a director, so this is really on point for you, Lisa.
What I really want to do is direct. I don't want a description of the episodes. I just need like an overall, what is the series about? And then we'll go from there.
All right.
I'm so demanding.
Fine. All right. Overall description. Take 2. Slate. Do you like that slate noise? Can you add that in?
Take 2. And speeding. Action.
Dash and Lily is about 2 teenagers in New York finding love via a red notebook that Lily has left in her own independent bookstore.
I should have done the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 finger thing. Like Magnolia.
Sean will be so disappointed that you didn't nail the accuracy of a radio, what is it, lead-in? Countdown?
I don't know. I've never really been in a situation. I know they do that in Wayne's World. They do the whole joke, but like I don't think I've ever been in a situation where that's happened to me in all my years.
Well, I believe if also they were going to count you in, it'd be on your earpiece.
Yeah, it's usually in the earpiece where they're like, all right, Lisa, coming to you in 5, 4, 3, 2, and go. Is usually what they say to me. And then about 3 is when I panic and I forget everything that I was going to say.
And then
by 1, I get it back.
Okay. So that was a pretty good description.
It was a fantastic description. I love catching you off guard because you always come through because you're such a champ.
Thank you, Lisa. Well, I think it's also important to set the stage of, so episode 3, which is my all-time favorite of the series, we get Lily going to the party in the underground, what was it? It's Jucor?
Yes, Jucor.
Party. And so episode 4 gives us the aftermath of that party. So our grandfather has come home. He's angry at her. So we get the fallout of that, as well as because she panicked and ran away from the party, she didn't leave the notebook for Dash. So what happens next if they can't communicate because they don't have their cell phones? They haven't given phone numbers.
This was a great way to mix it up because the first 3 episodes, so the first episode is like Dash was kind of on the scavenger hunt with this red notebook. The second episode, we learn why he found this red notebook and what it's all about. Episode 3, it's kind of like they're leaving clues for each other back and forth and back and forth. And you kind of think, is it going to be just this until the last episode when they finally meet? But no, they were smart and they mixed it up with the episode 4 where she forgets to leave him the notebook, which would have had more clues in it. So instead, he kind of gets a tip from people at the club that she was wearing these beautiful bright red boots. And he sees a red boot floating in the gutter outside of the club. So he's like, I now have to figure out the owner of these boots. And he, you know, through a series of events, tracks them to her aunt?
Her great aunt, I believe.
Her great aunt, yeah, so great aunt. Also named Lillian.
Yeah, Lillian.
So he's a little confused at first, and when she invites him in, he probably thinks it's some kind of, you know, awkward situation he's found himself in. But then we learn that she's related to Lily, and, you know, he's a little bit closer to finding her. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, it's really cute how they're making the story weave in and out.
Yes. And we've gotten references to Lily's great aunt before through her nickname. Mm-hmm. And so we kind of put the name of the face, and Dash has also heard her by the nickname. So he's like, oh, Lily's talked about you. So I appreciate that. I also appreciated Lily's great aunt has that sass that, like, I was like, I see where Langston gets it from. So she's had a falling out with Lily's grandpa. And so she ends up, after this stranger emerges and tells the stories of the notebook, and then he's worried about Lily because he hasn't heard from her, and he thinks Dash is mainly concerned because he thinks that he's pushed Lily too far with the last, like, dare to go out and dance and be part of this concert and stand up to the people who bullied her and feel a little bit uncomfortable but break out of your shell, that he might have pushed it too hard, and she went home really upset that he just wants to check on her. So Lily's great aunt goes, resolves stuff with the grandpa, and lets her know he's looking for her. So Lily's able to return the notebook to Boomer, and Boomer gets it to Dash, which I felt a little bit bad for Boomer because he does have a job. And the fact that she's like, here, take this, you have to go by 5, you have to go by 5. And he just runs with it, and I was like, he's such a bro. He's such a good friend. You know what?
It's New York. Yeah. Nobody's going to places in New York expecting good customer service. That's just all there is to it.
So he runs the notebook to Dash. Dash goes to, I don't know what it is, but it's like the equivalent of like a candy cane lane in some places. It's all lit up. It's with different Christmas lights and decorations. And then she sends him a really cute sign that at like 5 o'clock where it like lights up. And I just thought it was very sweet. And then it ends with, the ex is in town. Sophia is here.
Yes, now we have another girl interfering in Dash's life at the same time that we sort of have another guy interfering in Lily's life, which is, again, this is so smart of the screenwriters to do this because, you know, now we have conflict. Like, everything was whimsical and magical and beautiful and, you know, so innocent kind of for so long. And now we have some real problems where Lily is potentially going to have to move out of the country, right?
Yeah.
Out of the country?
Yeah.
And then never see Dash again. And now Dash's ex is in town, and she's beautiful and charming and, you know, the exact person you wouldn't want to be an ex of your man, you know, which is very threatening girl, but, like, you know, she's just like, you know, the perfect girl. But I have to say that this series did something that I have not seen in another movie or TV show, and I really, really appreciated. So, one of the big things that Dash was proposing Lily to do was to stand up to this guy who was super mean to her in school, and she's been carrying this grudge for so long. I think she was like middle school or something, so like a really young kid. And he was a jerk to her and called her weird and made her feel, you know, like an outsider, like a freak, and she's never forgotten that. And she misses the opportunity to stand up to him at this club, but then she regains this opportunity at this slam poetry event. Mm-hmm. So she gets up on stage, and we're like, this is a big moment for Lily. She knows that her bully from middle school is in the audience. She gets up there, and she just pours her heart out, and she's like, this is what you did to me. This is what you did to me. You made me feel so horrible. I can't believe you did this to me. I was only a kid. And then he stands up in the back and he goes, so was I. And you get this moment of like, oh, crap. Mm-hmm. You know, because like, oh, shoot, it's true. You know, like she felt like crap for what he did, but he was also just a stupid kid. Mm-hmm. And stupid kids do stuff like that. Like, you should see the things that like my 4-year-old says to my 2-year-old that like if my 2-year-old could understand it, would be absolutely scarred for life. But she's 4. She has no idea what she's doing. And I just really appreciated that because I think that's true. There's too many of these movies where someone has been scarred by someone in like high school and then they go to meet him again. It's like, you're just the exact same person from high school. Like literally they have not changed at all as a character or a person. But it appears that this guy has. Like he recognizes, he's like, I'm sorry I was mean to you, but I was a kid. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was a really cool moment.
I think so too. I thought that was good. I think that was also, this is the first episode that was not anchored in Dash and Lily. While they are characters, it was titled like Sophia and Edgar, who is the Lily's bully. So I did appreciate that. I also thought the casting on Sophia was just phenomenal. Like she nailed the part. Like you could just see that she was like this affluent, like this wealthy socialite who knows a bunch of languages and is very smart and articulate, but also like gorgeous. Like she nailed that part. She
you know what she reminded me of? She reminded me of the blonde from Emily in Paris. I'm sorry, I cannot remember character names, but her name was like.
I know exactly who we're talking about. She's the girlfriend of the French chef.
Yes.
Yes.
So she kind of gave me those vibes.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, like you like her and you're mad that you like her.
Yes.
I also thought Edgar's the bully, right? Yeah, Edgar's the bully.
Edgar's the bully, yes.
Yeah, I also thought the casting on him was really good too because he had these moments where you just look at his face and you're like, oh, I just hate you. Like, you're a terrible person. And then he had these other moments where you're like, oh, you're really sweet and I like you. Mm-hmm. Like, really good casting. So, yeah. It's Camille. Such a good series. It's like Camille, yes. But so far, Dash and Lily is such a good series. Kaitlin is holding out on me because she knows the ending, and I'm sure her little brain has all sorts of little secrets up there. She's not, but I'm still taking it episode by episode. If you guys are too, be sure to tweet at us. Tell us how you're enjoying it. I don't know. Do you have anything else to say about the movies we've talked about today?
I don't think. Kaitlin? Not in the movies, but on Dash and Lily. I've said it from the start. Boomer's always got a soft spot for me, and I just really appreciate what a good friend he is to Dash. I also appreciate that, like, Boomer dresses like a normal, like, high schooler, which I thought was good. Like, Dash is a little bit more wealthy, so he dresses like that, and Lily's a little bit more eclectic, so her costumes and stuff make sense for that. But I felt like Boomer just, like, nails, like, a teenage wardrobe. I also appreciated he had the yellow check plaid, which is like also the jacket that Emily wore in Emily in Paris. So we're both getting the Emily in Paris vibes, just in different ways.
No, it's a great show. Again, everything we talked about today, I genuinely enjoyed.
Agreed.
In upcoming episodes, not sure which ones these are going to be, but one episode we're definitely going to cover the new Netflix series called Holiday Movies That Made Us. We both really enjoyed the original series just called The Movies That Made Us, which talked about Ghostbusters, Home Alone, Dirty Dancing, Die Hard, basically the story of how this movie got made. And usually it's because it was an underdog and no one believed in it and everything looked very grim. And then all of a sudden it gets a chance and it becomes the biggest movie of all time.
Yep.
So those were all really great episodes, and now we get those in the holiday form. I think there's like Elf and Nightmare Before Christmas
are
and a couple others coming up. Yeah, those are available right now, so we'll see more that come out. And then we're going to do a Hallmark Channel special because Hallmark Channel is known for doing these kind of good, bad holiday movies, and we haven't watched any of them. We've only stuck to Netflix and Hulu so far, so we're going to expand it a little bit and go to Hallmark because I know that Kaitlin and I are both very interested in Feliz Navidad, directed by Melissa Joan Hart.
Yes.
Which just sounds, just title alone, I'm sold.
I hope.
Mario Lopez.
I really hope it is a Hallmark movie. Watching the Lifetime
I think it is.
one.
Oh yeah, it's hard to know because Lifetime and Hallmark are all interchangeable because they both have those type of movies. Is Kaitlin looking it up?
I am looking it up.
Is she looking it up right now?
I'm looking it up right now. I'm trying to find. It is a Lifetime.
It's Lifetime?
It's Lifetime.
Okay, well, take that back.
We'll figure out one. Lisa and I both don't have cable, and we don't want to pay for it, so we got to figure out how we can get it on Hulu.
So true. Okay, yeah, we're gonna watch some Lifetime movies, some Hallmark Channel movies. We're gonna get Feliz Navidad in there somehow.
Obviously, we're gonna watch Dolly Parton's Christmas on the Square.
We have to. She's earned our view.
Yes.
With everything she's done.
Thank you, Dolly Parton.
For the world. We love you, Dolly Parton. Kaitlin, plug Plug yourself.
So you can follow me on
insulting.
Twitter and Instagram. If you are looking to buy a book, such as Lisa's book, definitely check out my friend's mom's bookstore, lakeforestbookstore.com. They do ship, so if you can't be there in person, it doesn't matter. She'll ship it to you. As well as if you're looking for an independent bookstore to buy from, Pals, which me and Lisa both can vouch for, that we used to go to all the time when we lived in Oregon. Pals also does ship too, so make sure to check those out. And of course, you can follow my dog Puns. He is on Instagram at Puns of Damage. I also post him on my Twitter and Instagram because honestly, what else do you do with Fleet on Twitter? I just post dog pics. Honestly, I don't know what else to do with it.
Yeah, Fleet's a little silly. But yeah, you must follow Puns. I'm at Lisa Foyles pretty much everywhere. This has been wonderful. We have 3 more episodes left of our seasonal podcast. Thank you for joining us. We love you. We love our club. And Kaitlin, I love you and I love Puns.
I love you too, and I also love Puns. And Puns loves you.
And
he misses you. And he loves all our wonderful listeners, and I would say viewers, but it's really listeners.
Yeah, really listeners. And Kevin hates all of us. So yeah. That's it for today. Bye.
Bye.